welcome back to another new racing YouTube video. Today what we're going to look at is how to simplify some of the processes around designing a track, such as creating these lines around the outside of the track, and also look at some of the expansion packs that are available. Making this video based upon some of the feedback I got in the comment section, so hopefully this helps you guys. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to look at is how we can make these white lines a bit simpler. In the previous video, how I said to make it was to go to string objects, paint lines, and then essentially all we're doing curve is clicking around our track where we want to put our lines. Obviously this is a bit of a painstaking process. This track that I'm doing is only about 1 kilometre long. Obviously, if you're making some of the longer tracks, like an F1 track, might be several kilometres. So you don't really want to sit there for an hour or so clicking away. So we'll look at a different way that we can make this. So what I'll do is I'm going to delete this one here. I won't delete all of those ones. But what we're effectively going to do is change the texture of this track. So the texture of the track, basically you have your segments and they're all kind of linked together. Like you can imagine like blocks joining together. We can look at what that one currently looks like if we go up here to edit materials. You'll see on the side here, this is all the different objects and the textures for the objects that we've currently input. If I go down here to road, you can see we have our two different road textures, tarmac dark and tarmac dark AC. So that would be these two here. I think AC is the Assetto Corsa version, which is this one we have around our main track. So that's the one that I'm going to want to edit. Well, actually, I think it might be the dark one. Either way, I think we'll just work it out and see how we go. So if we go here, textures, edit. If you have a default program to edit these textures, such as maybe 3ds Max might work, it might open there. However, obviously you can see I don't have that, so we'll see how else we can do it. What you want to do is we'll open up our wherever your racetrack builder data is stored. Mine's just in documents. If I go in here, currently on the Newcastle kart track, if we go to Xpacks, you'll see here, these are all the different expansion packs that currently that I've chosen to input into this one. I've already extracted this zip folder to this race day up here. If that wouldn't be there when you open it, you'll just have to extract that. Or if you're using a different road surface, it might be one of these other ones, so you just have to extract that. But I'll go into this race day, into materials, down to road, and you can see here the different road materials that are in the racetrack folder, race day folder. Now you can see these are in JPEGs and XML files. So if you can open the JPEG and you can look at it. This is not the one that you want to edit though. So this materials one, I made the mistake first. This is the one I edited, and it won't actually change it. It'll only change this little picture here, which yeah isn't much help really. So if I go back, I'm going to head back to race day. I'm going to go down here to textures, road, and what we should see here is DDS files. And these are the ones that we were going to want to edit. You can try opening it in the program, these DDS files. I've found the best way is to convert it to a JPEG. So I just use this online conversion program. I found that it seems to be pretty safe anyway. Hopefully it's not putting any viruses on my computer. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tarmac dark and I'm going to convert it to a JPEG. just so that I can edit that, and then I'm going to convert it back. So that's converting at the moment. I'll then click download. You see, if I open up my JPEG, you can see that's the track surface, and yes, that is the lighter colored surface that we want. So I'm going to close that. I'll go find in the folder, it's just in my downloads, that should be fine. Right click on it, I'm going to open with, you can use whatever program you like to add the lines. I'll just use Paint, seeing as that's probably something that most people would have on their computers already. And then literally all we're going to do is put some white lines around on either edge. So I might just put a box shape. Something like that. Maybe I need to zoom out a bit more. And I want to fill that in. Do the same thing on the other side. Something like that. And you can see there we have our lines on either edge. You want to make sure that you don't really have any gaps here. I might have a small sort of gap there, but hopefully that shouldn't show up. Then all I'm going to do is save that one, close that. So if I open up this JPEG now, you can see I have some nice lines on either edge. These might be a little bit thick, but we'll see. You can do the same process again to adjust them later if you like. All right, so what I'm going to have to do now is convert this JPEG back to a DDS file. So I'll convert that one. And then I will download that when it's ready. Download that. So you can decide whether you think this process is easier or whether you think clicking all the way around the track's easier. It's up to you. All right, so we have our DDS file there. And then we're going to just want to copy that. So I just want Control C on that. And I want to copy that to my racetrack builder file. So I've gone back to Newcastle Kart, Xpacks, race day, to textures, remember not materials, textures, road, and then I'm just going to delete this one first and paste that one in there so you can see that there. All right, so if I go close those, I will then close this, don't save anything, and once I reopen it, sec. It's renamed our profile there for some reason. So I'll try that again, reopen my Newcastle kart track. And you'll see that, zoom in here, we have these lines around the outside. As I said, we did have that little gap, which has caused that sort of effect there, but our other side is joined up pretty nicely. A bit thicker than our other line that we already had there, if you remember I had that existing line there. And it's also keeps an equal distance from the edge the whole way around. So yeah, that's a different way to do it, and hopefully a bit easier than the previous one. You can see we have that there as well, so that's pretty handy. Again, if you want to change the terrain of your track, we just go in here, tracks, change the material colors of the track. The only thing is they look a little bit different up here sometimes, so that must be our one that we've edited there. All right, so hopefully that's an easier process of adding the lines. We had another comment saying, is there an easier process to input these curves? Now you can try and play around similar to what we did with these lines with the curves if they're the wrong size. For example, often when I'm inputting my curves, because they're go-kart tracks, so if I go in here, so string objects, rumble strips, I have that one in there. So for example, if I want it over here, often I would find that they might be thicker than in real life for like a typical go-kart track. And then I'd have to individually go through, go properties up here, click on pattern. I'd have to go through and edit the scale down to maybe, which one is it? 70, something like that. So that's more realistic. It is a bit annoying, but I did have a play around with trying to find an easier way to do this. I wasn't very successful. But yeah, by all means, if anyone knows a better way of inputting these curves, rather than manually inputting in each one, more than happy to yeah, leave a comment and let us know. The other thing that someone wanted to know about was expansion packs. Not sure if I mentioned this in the previous video, but the expansion packs are all here. And these are all the different ones that Racetrack Builder has by default. I found that they're pretty good for your amateur track. You might not be hugely realistic, but if you just having a play around, more than good enough. But you can input your own objects. I haven't looked into this too much, but I think you can effectively do it with any 3D program. So if we go in here, expansion packs, look at our objects, for example, maybe our cones, you can see that we have a JPEG and an XML file. So that's what you would have to create if you're creating your own objects. Textures, objects. Potentially you could do it with these DDS files as well. But I'll leave that up to you. There was some that I found online from Bob's Track Builder, which apparently some people mentioned that you could modify for Racetrack Builder. So if you find any Bob's Track Builder ones online, on Race Department, I found this usually has a few good mods out there. You might be able to modify those and use different things on there. But yeah, I'd recommend if you're downloading anything online and using mods online, don't do it on your track that you've spent hours working on. It might corrupt something and cause some issues. So yeah, create a new track to test it out on. Definitely the best way to go. All right, hopefully that helped a little bit. Sorry I couldn't help more with some of the expansion packs and things. But yeah, hopefully it makes your life a bit easier. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.